Have you ever felt like you just don't quite fit in anywhere? Like you're watching the world from the outside, understanding everyone deeply, but rarely feeling understood yourself? You might be an INFJ, the rarest personality type in the world, making up only about 1 to 2% of the population. Today, we're diving into 12 signs that reveal whether you're part of this unique group of individuals who see the world in a completely different way. Before we jump in, let me explain what INFJ actually means. It stands for introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging. These 4 letters describe how INFJs process information, make decisions, and interact with the world around them. But here's the thing. Being an INFJ is so much more than just 4 letters. It's a complex, often contradictory way of experiencing life that can feel both like a gift and a burden. INFJs are often called the advocate or the counselor because of their deep desire to help others and make the world a better place. But what makes them truly unique is how they combine seemingly opposite traits. They're logical yet emotional, creative yet organized, social yet desperately needing alone time. If you're nodding along already, keep watching, because we're about to explore the telltale signs that you might be one of these rare individuals. Sign number 1, you can read people like books. The first and perhaps most distinctive sign of being an INFJ is an almost supernatural ability to understand people. You don't just notice what someone says. You pick up on the subtle shift in their tone, the way their eyes dart away for just a second, or how their shoulders tense when certain topics come up. Within minutes of meeting someone, you've already formed a complex understanding of who they are, what drives them, and often what they're hiding. This isn't about being judgmental. It's about pattern recognition at an incredibly sophisticated level. Your brain automatically processes hundreds of micro-expressions, vocal patterns, and behavioral cues, synthesizing them into an intuitive understanding of the person in front of you. You often know what someone is feeling before they do, and you can predict their reactions with startling accuracy. But here's the double-edged sword. This ability can be exhausting. You can't turn it off. Walking into a room full of people means immediately absorbing everyone's emotional states, their hidden tensions, their unspoken desires. It's like being an emotional sponge in a world full of water. You might find yourself avoiding crowded places not because you dislike people, but because the emotional input is simply overwhelming. Sign number 2, you're a walking contradiction. INFJs are bundles of contradictions that somehow make perfect sense. You crave deep, meaningful connections, but need extensive alone time to recharge. You're incredibly organized in some areas of your life, while being completely chaotic in others. You can be the life of the party one moment and desperately seeking the exit the next. You might be extremely private about your personal life, while simultaneously being the person everyone comes to with their problems. You're both a dreamer and a doer, someone who has their head in the clouds while keeping their feet firmly planted on the ground. These contradictions aren't flaws or confusion. They're the result of your complex inner world trying to navigate external reality. This internal complexity often makes you feel misunderstood. People might see one side of you and assume that's all there is, not realizing the depth and multifaceted nature of your personality. You've probably been called both too sensitive and too logical by different people, or even by the same person at different times. Sign number 3, small talk feels like torture. If there's one thing that drains an INFJ faster than anything else, it's superficial conversation. Talking about the weather, celebrity gossip, or what you had for lunch feels like slowly suffocating. Not because you think you're above these topics, but because your brain is wired for depth and meaning. You want to know what keeps people up at night, what they'd do if they knew they couldn't fail, what childhood experience shaped who they are today. You want to discuss ideas that matter, explore philosophical questions, and dive into the complexities of human nature. When forced into small talk, you might find yourself trying to steer the conversation towards something more substantial, or you simply zone out, retreating into your rich inner world. This isn't social snobbery. It's about connection. Small talk feels like a barrier to the real connection you crave. You'd rather have one deep conversation that leaves you thinking for days than 100 surface-level interactions that leave you feeling empty. Sign number 4, your intuition is rarely wrong. INFJs have what many people call a sixth sense about situations and people. You get gut feelings that you can't quite explain, but that turn out to be accurate an uncanny amount of the time. You might meet someone everyone else loves and immediately sense something off about them, only to be proven right months later. Or you might know that a seemingly perfect opportunity isn't right for you, even when you can't articulate why. This intuition isn't magical. It's your subconscious processing patterns and information at a level below conscious awareness. Your brain picks up on subtle inconsistencies, hidden patterns, and unspoken truths, presenting them to you as a feeling about something. The challenge is learning to trust this intuition, especially when it goes against logic or what others are telling you. You've probably had experiences where you ignored your intuition to follow logic or please others, only to regret it later. Learning to balance your intuitive insights with rational analysis is a lifelong journey for INFJs, but your intuition is one of your greatest gifts when you learn to trust it. Sign number 5. You're a natural counselor. People naturally gravitate toward you with their problems, often sharing things they've never told anyone else. There's something about your presence that makes people feel safe, understood, and truly heard. You don't just listen to words. You hear the emotions beneath them, the fears behind the bravado, the pain behind the smile. You have an innate ability to help people see their situations from new perspectives, to find solutions they hadn't considered, and to feel validated in their experiences. Even strangers might find themselves opening up to you in ways that surprise both of you. You've probably had numerous experiences of someone saying, "I don't know why I'm telling you this, but this gift comes with a cost." Being everyone's counselor can be emotionally draining, especially when you rarely feel like you have someone who can do the same for you. You might find yourself carrying others' emotional burdens long after conversations end, unable to simply switch off your empathy. Sign number 6. You need alone time, like you need air. For INFJs, alone time isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not that you dislike people. In fact, you probably care about people more deeply than most. But social interaction, especially in groups or superficial settings, drains your battery at an alarming rate. After social events, you need hours or even days alone to fully recharge. This alone time isn't about being antisocial or depressed. It's when you process experiences, pursue your interests, and reconnect with yourself. It's when your creativity flows, your best ideas emerge, and you feel most at peace. Without adequate alone time, you might become irritable, anxious, or feel like you're losing yourself. The challenge is that others might not understand this need. They might take it personally when you need space, or worry that something's wrong when you withdraw. Learning to communicate this need without feeling guilty and establishing boundaries around your alone time is crucial for your well-being. Sign number 7. You're a perfectionist with specific things. INFJs have an interesting relationship with perfectionism. You might be incredibly particular about certain aspects of your life while being completely relaxed about others. Maybe your workspace needs to be organized just so, but your car is a disaster. Or you spend hours perfecting a piece of writing but don't care what you wear. This selective perfectionism stems from your need for external order to match your internal vision. When something matters to you, you have a clear mental image of how it should be, and anything less feels deeply unsatisfying. You're not trying to be difficult. You literally can't rest until things align with your inner vision. This perfectionism often extends to your own performance and behavior. You hold yourself to impossibly high standards, beating yourself up over minor mistakes while extending endless compassion to others for the same things. Learning to apply the same kindness to yourself that you naturally give to others is one of the biggest challenges INFJs face. Sign number 8. You think in patterns and connections. Your mind doesn't work in linear ways. Instead, you see patterns everywhere, connecting seemingly unrelated ideas in ways that others might find bizarre or brilliant. A conversation about coffee might lead you to think about global trade, which connects to historical colonization, which relates to modern power structures, which reminds you of a book you read about psychology. This web-like thinking allows you to see the bigger picture and understand complex systems intuitively. You often have insights that seem to come from nowhere but are actually the result of your brain synthesizing information from multiple sources simultaneously. This makes you excellent at strategic thinking, creative problem-solving, and understanding complex human dynamics. However, this can also make it difficult to explain your thoughts to others. You might jump from A to Z in your mind while others are still trying to get from A to B. Learning to slow down and walk others through your thought process can be challenging, but necessary for effective communication. Sign number 9. You have a rich inner world. The world inside your head is probably more vivid and complex than the external world. You might have ongoing internal dialogues, elaborate daydreams, or complex theoretical frameworks that you've never shared with anyone. This inner world is where you retreat when the outer world becomes too much. You might spend hours lost in thought, exploring ideas, having imaginary conversations, or envisioning different scenarios. This isn't escapism. It's how you process information, solve problems, and understand yourself. Your inner world is where you feel most free, most yourself, and most at peace. The challenge is that this rich inner life can sometimes make you feel disconnected from reality or from others who don't share this trait. You might struggle to be present in the moment, always partially existing in your thoughts. Finding balance between your inner and outer worlds is an ongoing process. Sign number 10. You're highly sensitive to conflict. Conflict doesn't just bother you, it can physically affect you. Tension in a room makes your stomach clench. Raised voices make you want to disappear. Even conflict that doesn't involve you directly can leave you feeling drained and anxious for hours or days afterward. This isn't weakness. It's the result of your highly attuned empathic abilities. You don't just observe conflict, you absorb the emotions of everyone involved. You feel their anger, their hurt, their frustration as if it were your own. This makes you an excellent mediator when needed, as you can understand all perspectives, but it also means you'll go to great lengths to avoid conflict yourself. Sometimes this means you don't speak up when you should, letting things build up until they explode. Or you might find yourself constantly managing others' emotions to maintain harmony, exhausting yourself in the process. Learning to handle conflict constructively while protecting your emotional well-being is a crucial skill for INFJs. Sign number 11. You feel called to a greater purpose. Most INFJs carry a deep sense that they're meant to do something meaningful with their lives. This isn't about fame or recognition. It's about impact. You feel called to help others, to solve problems, to create something beautiful, or to contribute to positive change in some way. This sense of purpose can be both motivating and burdensome. When you're aligned with your purpose, you feel energized and fulfilled in ways nothing else can match. But when you're not, you might feel lost, restless, or like you're wasting your life. The challenge is that your purpose might not fit conventional career paths or life scripts. You might struggle with careers that feel meaningless, even if they're successful by external standards. Money and status matter less to you than meaning and impact. This can make career decisions particularly challenging as you navigate between practical needs and your deep need for purposeful work. Sign number 12. You often feel like an old soul. Even as a child, you might have felt different from your peers. Older somehow. You were probably the kid who preferred talking to adults, who asked existential questions that made others uncomfortable, who seemed to understand things beyond your years. This old soul quality persists into adulthood. You might feel like you've lived many lifetimes, carrying wisdom that seems to come from somewhere beyond your actual experiences. You're often drawn to philosophy, spirituality, or psychology, anything that helps explain the deeper aspects of existence. This can create a sense of loneliness, especially when you're young. Finding peers who understand you, who can match your depth and intensity, can be challenging. But it also gives you a unique perspective and the ability to offer insights that others might take decades to develop. Understanding your INFJ nature. If you've found yourself nodding along to most of these signs, you're likely one of the rare INFJs walking among us. But remember, personality types are frameworks for understanding, not boxes to limit yourself. Every INFJ is unique, shaped by their experiences, culture, and individual journey. Being an INFJ comes with its challenges. The intensity of your emotions, the depth of your processing, and your high sensitivity can make life feel overwhelming at times. You might struggle with anxiety, perfectionism, or feeling perpetually misunderstood. But these same traits are also your superpowers. Your ability to understand others deeply makes you an invaluable friend, partner, and counselor. Your intuition guides you toward truth and authenticity. Your complex inner world fuels creativity and innovation. Your drive for meaning pushes you to make genuine contributions to the world. The key is learning to work with your INFJ nature rather than against it. This means honoring your need for alone time without guilt. It means trusting your intuition even when you can't explain it. It means seeking depth in your relationships and work rather than settling for surface-level engagement. It means accepting your contradictions as part of your complexity rather than flaws to be fixed. Living authentically as an INFJ. The journey of an INFJ is often about finding the courage to be yourself in a world that might not always understand you. It's about learning to value your rare perspective rather than trying to fit in. It's about using your gifts to make the meaningful impact you feel called to make. Remember, being rare doesn't mean being alone. Other INFJs are out there, along with people of all types who can appreciate and value what you bring to the world. The key is being authentic enough to attract the right people into your life. Those who appreciate your depth, respect your complexity, and understand your need for both connection and solitude. Your sensitivity is not a weakness to be overcome, but a strength to be harnessed. Your intuition is not something to doubt, but a guide to trust. Your desire for meaning is not impractical idealism, but a compass pointing toward your truest path. What aspects of being an INFJ resonate most with you? Have you always felt different, or did these traits develop over time? Share your experiences in the comments below. You might be surprised to find how many others share your journey. And if this video helped you understand yourself or someone you care about better, consider subscribing for more content about personality, psychology, and the beautiful complexity of being human. Remember, in a world that often rewards conformity, your unique perspective is not just valuable, it's necessary.